Hey, I'm back here with Cheryl Stainsby from Your Directors Advocate. I'm James. Hey, Cheryl, how are you?
Good, thanks, James.
So, look, Cheryl, you've been working hard for years and it's just time to get out. You've been running a small business for a while. We haven't really talked about this. What if you just want to get out? Well, what do you do then?
James, we see a lot of small business owners who've got a handyman business, for example, or maybe a lawn mowing round, coffee van. And as you said, it's time to move on, it's time to retire, and they want to sell their business. And what we find is a lot of people have a very overestimated idea, inflated idea of what their business is worth.
Right, so they sort of think that I've worked all these years, I've worked years and years and years, this must be fantastic. I've got all these loyal clients who come and buy a pie from my pie van every week, or how many gardens I hedge. So what are you saying? You're saying that, in fact, you've got to actually think, well, what would someone actually pay for that? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, and I think too, quite often, people might have a business loan. They might have some debt that's secured against their house or against their business. And so they feel that in order to sell the business and walk away, that they have to clear that debt. So they might have a $150,000 business loan, for example, and they believe that they need to get $150,000. That's what their business is worth.
Yeah, right, okay. So I've got a debt of X, so I need to get X plus Y because that's what I want to get paid.
That's right.
And where does that fall down?
Well, in reality, quite often, their business literally earns them a wage.
Well, like sort of, 50 grand a year or
That's
something.
right,
Yeah, right.
And so if somebody's going to buy that business and it's only going to bring them in enough money to earn a wage, then that's really what the value of the business is. And I guess it's important often to go and see a business broker to find out what your business is actually worth.
What someone's prepared to pay for it, effectively.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, right. And then they can test the market and say, okay, so now what are you going to do if, I've been working all these years, I've hedged all these hedges, I've done all this sort of stuff. So what do I do now if suddenly, hang on, I've got a $150,000 debt against my house and the broker says I could at best get maybe 50 grand, or maybe 100 grand. What do I do?
Look, I guess a lot of people don't believe the broker. A lot of the brokers that I work with, their sort of, stories are that people are very upset by this. But I think what people need to understand, and particularly if they've been to see a couple of different brokers and been given the same story, possibly if you're at that point in your life where you just can't run the business anymore, sometimes it's better to accept a smaller payout and be able to walk away than to end up not getting anything for your business at all.
Yeah, okay. So you're so I think the point that we're trying to get to here is, and I think we can probably do this over a couple of podcasts about what do we do if you don't have enough money. We might do in the next episode. But so the bit that's really interesting that people need to be is that kind of be realistic phase. So did you say that people, how often do you find that? Do you find that most of the time people have got an overestimated view of what their business is worth?
Look, I think that's true. I think it's something people have been passionate about. It's their life's work. So they believe that they should be able to get sufficient money from the sale of their business to be able to retire comfortably. And sadly, that's often just not the case.
It's not the case. So I suppose there's a few things there for business owners to be mindful of. Is one of them is about understanding the actual value of your business. So it's almost one of those things you'd almost do, like in the big end of town, that I call it a stress test. How much does this actually work? I'm working 7 days a week. I'm working like a dog. I'm getting effectively, in some cases, in some of the franchises, I'm getting $5 an hour. When it comes time to sell it, if I've been getting $5 an hour for a long period of time, there's a good chance a lot of people aren't going to pay a lot of money for the privilege to work like a dog and get $5 an hour. So you need to be quite sensible about what things are. Okay, so Cheryl, let's talk next time about what do I do when I don't have enough money to actually cover all the debts of the business.